It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Well, maybe Kawhi is a leader. Maybe he's going to win with a third team. Maybe not. Maybe. I know this for a fact. COVID's still a thing in sports and in our society. I know Julio Jones has a new spot, although I thought the Falcons had a number one pick because I read the reports. I know United won again. I know that Logan Paul with the distance with Floyd Mayweather, although I'm not sure that I care. What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. How you living? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. What did it do, everyone?
It do a lot, actually. If you're in L.A., you still have a basketball team, although I'm not sure that makes most L.A. basketball fans happy. But they're alive. The home team won a game in that series. The home team won a game finally, and it was in Game 7. Kawhi Leonard, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Stars show up at big moments. He was chastised for the last, 8, 10, however many minutes it's been since they went out last year in the playoffs for not showing up when it was all on the line. The Stars showed up for both teams yesterday. The thing is, the Clippers had more stars than the Mavericks did. Luka was terrific. He had 46 points and 14 rebounds. But Kawhi Leonard and Paul George got the Clippers through to the next round, and there's no reason they can't keep going. We talked about a lot of teams. We don't talk about the Clippers as much as a contender, and they are certainly as much a contender as anybody that's left.
They could be the favorite because they have that dude. And what we saw after the first two games was Kawhi Leonard rising to the occasion. And he no doubt leads with his play. And that team came together around him. From Kawhi Leonard to Ty Lue, the Clippers hit on all the right cylinders. And my today, yes, there's crow for Kawhi and the Clippers because when they lost 5 straight in the postseason, especially with how bad they played in that Game 7 last year, blowing a 3-run lead to the Nuggets, I think it was a fair question because if we're looking at you as that dude, and we saw in this series after the first 2 games, Kawhi Leonard remind everybody that he can absolutely be the best player in this game. How in the heck does this team get to the point of losing 5 straight games and again just looking around like it's a fractured locker room like no one cares? Well, they figured it out. They came together, and it started with the way he played on the floor, the decisions that Ty Lue made in that rotation, and you saw at the end of the third quarter, 24-4 run to end it, that they solidified their first-round victory.
Nobody does it by themselves in this league. I don't care if it's Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Nobody wins by themselves. We've had this conversation a zillion times if we've had it once. Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson were terrific yesterday. So what about Paul George? Well, Paul George should be good, right? Paul George is there to be good. Paul George was good. He had 22 points. He had 10 assists. You don't expect 7 3-pointers out of Marcus Morris. You don't expect Marcus Morris to be on a list of who has the most 3-pointers in a Game 7 of a playoff series. The list is 2, and it includes Steph Curry and Marcus Morris. You don't expect that. Reggie Jackson, 15 points, but so big down the clutch. So, yeah, Kawhi was terrific, and he needed to be. But other guys got to be good in a Game 7. Luka was terrific, but his other guys weren't, and they didn't win, right? Luka was, can you ask more of Luka Doncic? He was terrific.
No.
There's just more around Kawhi Leonard than there is around Luka Doncic. There just is.
There is. And there was that same core there when they lost 5 in a row.
That's right.
And for me, the Clippers, it really starts with believing whatever is said in that locker room, whether it's from Ty Lue, Kawhi Leonard, or Paul George. And that's what stars do, is they have the consistency. All right, night in and night out, we're getting this from these 2 guys, and then it allows a Reggie Jackson, a Marcus Morris to have that game. When we talk about the Brooklyn Nets, that's exactly what happened. You have your stars, and then it's, all right, who is going to step up? And for the Clippers, it was pretty much everyone in that starting rotation. And then that is also a credit to Ty Lue, who changed his game plan. When Dallas went big and they said, we're going to throw Boban out there, we're going to try to play a zone, Ty Lue said, guess what? We're going to go small with the guys that are versatile, that everyone can shoot that's on the floor. We can switch everything if we have to, and it worked out. It did. And so you're a genius when it works, and your guys make shots, and you're an idiot when it doesn't, and they don't. Clippers win 126-111 over the Mavericks, Game 7. I don't know where this leaves Dallas. Dallas is in that purgatory. Dallas has a superstar, and I don't know that they thought they had 2. And I don't know how that you can look at Porzingis and say that's the number 2 piece. He's never healthy, and when he is, how good is he? 16 and 11, is that good enough for your number 2 guy in a Game 7 when everything's on the line? How good was he all series? How good was he all season? I'm going to tell you that when they got Porzingis, I thought they stole him. I did. The unicorn, they got a 7-footer who can do everything. He's receded. And so if you're Dallas, where do you go? Do you decide that that's your number 2, or do you got to go out? You got to recruit something hard, don't you? The free agency market, whatever's there, or you got to find a way to trade for a superstar. You got to be calling on Damian Lillard, don't you? Yeah, that Dallas is like Portland is like insert another team that's looking for number 2, and thought it was going to be Kristaps Porzingis, and it's just not. He is good, but he's not the dude that's going to be even in Paul George level consideration right now of going, all right, these are the 2 for sure guys that are leading the way, then we'll build around them. And for Dallas now, since 2011, they have 7 first-round postseason losses, 6 in a row.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle's going to probably be under some scrutiny, but I don't know if I think it's all on him.
Mark Cuban said that. He said, unless you have a for sure in place, it's not always grass is greener on the other side.
Well, I think Rick Carlisle's a really good coach. I just tell me when he's lost with a better roster. Do you think he lost a series with a better roster? Because I sure as hell don't.
No.
Right? And so how much is on Rick Carlisle as the front office? And how do you put together a team? Everybody's building, everybody's finding pieces. They got Kawhi and Paul George. They got LeBron and Anthony Davis. They got Donovan Mitchell and Gobert. Start looking around. You thought you did it. You got an owner who's going out and willing to spend. You thought you did it. You had Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. You had two international players, and one of them's terrific. One of them I thought was going to be terrific too. Like honestly, if you told me, wow, you didn't know 2 years ago how good Doncic was going to be, did you? You kind of thought so. But they thought they figured this out. Didn't you? When they got Porzingis, didn't you look at that and just go, that's a hell of a first too?
Yeah, and that's why the narrative you're going to hear is Dallas hasn't done anything, or Portland has failed Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
No, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like you had in Portland that backcourt, which at times you're like, is this the most underrated backcourt in the league?
Yes.
Like, do you realize how good CJ McCollum is? And he didn't show up. He didn't play good. Portland got beat. And the same thing here. Kristaps Porzingis, the hype just was too much. Like, he did not live up to that because you thought they made the move. Like, all right, they acquired Kristaps Porzingis. You have the deal, and it didn't work. And now there's a bunch of stars looking for who's going to be their number two.
All right, we got a lot to get through the weekend today. When we get back, we'll talk about the Hawks win over the 70. That's right, the Hawks win over the 76ers, the number one seed in the East, got beat at home in Game 1 of the second round. We got another injury that could affect what goes on in the East. It's a hamstring. Hamstrings linger. Julio Jones has been traded. What does it mean? How did they pull that one off? I mean, weren't we hearing there was all kinds of better stuff on the table? Get into everything that happened this weekend. John Rahm comes on. How bad did the PGA handle the John Rahm situation? He's winning the tournament by 6 strokes. Comes off the golf course on Saturday. He didn't get off the golf course. He's on 18, and they tell him right in public that, yep, you're out. You have COVID. You're done. That couldn't be done back in a tent somewhere, back in private. We got a lot to do. Stephanie's producing on the radio side. A run down in the Cave at Radio Ranch. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610 is how you get to us today. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Cade Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the 5th.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a... Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
did I tell you? That gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0 is the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball.
James Harden has an injury. Hamstring, won't play in game 2. I think that's a big deal. Nets got through Milwaukee in the first game. They're going to go at it again. And he didn't play. I mean, it was early. So they got through the Bucks in game 1 without James Harden. They still have Kyrie Irving, and they still have Kevin Durant. Bucks are the Nets better than the Bucks, even without James Harden? I think the answer is yes.
If we go straight, Giannis versus Kyrie and KD, yes. But where I'm not as worried if I'm Milwaukee is Blake Griffin and Mike James are not combining to score 30 points per game this series.
Okay.
And that was the difference in it. So Mike James. Who? Mike James off the bench 30 minutes, scores 12 points. Blake Griffin, unbelievable. 18 points, 14 rebounds. That was their moment. Now Milwaukee has to capitalize in game 2.
Yeah, I think Joe Harris is going to get his. Blake Griffin's played. I mean, ever since they got him, he fit into his role. He didn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to be the highlight. He's kind of playing a hell of a role, isn't he? What did he give him the other night? 35 minutes, 18 points, 14 rebounds. He's been pretty good. I don't want to tell you he's their 4th, and he sure doesn't play James Harden's role. But I just don't know that they needed James Harden with the other 2 scores. Do you miss all those points? Yeah, you miss them. But you got guys who can fill that. I don't know how long he's out. I think they're better than this team even without James Harden.
Milwaukee has to be incredibly frustrated for their performance in game 1, especially Harden going down right at the beginning when put like 43 seconds before injuring his hamstring. This is exactly what we're talking about, though, is you have your star players doing what you want, and then it leaves the door open for who's going to be the other guys to fill the role. In this case, it was Blake Griffin and Mike James. Now, Blake Griffin, maybe this series is better for him when he's matching up against Brook Lopez, a traditional center, because in the playoffs, Blake Griffin's averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds. But so he can have his moments. I'm still not banking on that, which is why, as frustrated as Milwaukee has to be after that performance in game 1, I expect them to get the split and this continue to be a fascinating series.
Giannis had 34. You got 19 out of Brook Lopez, as you said. Drew Holiday was 17. So where's it coming from them? Is it going to be Middleton? Is it going to be Holiday? It's got to be one of those 2 who are going to go in and do. And then Giannis has to be that good every night. He just does. 115-107 was that number, yes, on Saturday. So you get tonight you get Brooklyn and Milwaukee, and you get game 1 of Denver and Phoenix. That game will be in Arizona. So the other one yesterday was in Philadelphia, the top seed in the East, and they got down by about 106. No, I think it was 26 points, and got all the way back to within one possession. And you look at it, and I don't know that I feel that Philadelphia is in trouble, because I don't. I don't even know that, are you concerned? I guess they get your attention. I just think Philadelphia is better than the Atlanta Hawks. But the Hawks go in there and get 35 points and 10 assists out of Trae Young. They get 25 points out of Bogdan Bogdanovic. Collins gave them 21. They can score, man. That team can score, and I thought Philly played better defense than that.
That was a great performance from Atlanta. And here's the thing. You look at did they take their foot off the gas, being up 20 points, having the team coming back? They looked terrible in the final few minutes against pressure. Yeah. That is a huge issue. Inbound the basketball. Get it across the court. Set up your offense. So if you're Philadelphia, you're taking a step back going, okay, you know what we might do? Immediately trap at half court, starting the contest. That's what you have to do. Put some pressure on that backcourt, because Trae Young is living up to everything that we've talked about him as a young player coming into this league in the postseason. But you're also not going to hit 23-point shots as Atlanta did. It was unbelievable. Now, credit them, because they were getting the looks, the ball movement, getting the ball in the corner, getting some open shots. And they were hitting what it felt like absolutely everything on the evening. But to me, a big takeaway was somehow, some way, that dude has the meniscus injury and he still scores 39 points. He's still, in this case, Joel Embiid, a monster, and could be a difference in this series until he just can't go anymore.
Yeah, well, I think all that's right. The 23-pointers was terrific. I was between them and the Clippers yesterday. It was amazing how 3-pointers were going down and who was hitting them. Right, for the Clippers, okay, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris going at that clip. You expect Trae Young, but what did he hit? 4 of them? It was Bogdanovich who hit 5 of them. You had, it was coming from everywhere with them. Are you concerned if you're Philly? To me, they got my attention. I don't know that I'm concerned. I played a awful game, and I look at it and I say, all right, they got my attention. It's going to be a little tougher series than maybe it was against Washington. This team's pretty good, but I don't know that I feel I'm worried.
Yeah, especially with the talent on these teams when we look at the Eastern Conference and the performances in Game 1, I'm not worried if I'm Philadelphia or Milwaukee. I'd say, all right, this is the specific areas where we can change it, and they're talented enough to get it done. And as you said, with Philadelphia, are you going to play any defense at all? We know this is going to be a high-scoring series, but you get 42 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And that was the game.
Yeah, and they should be better than that. They flat out should. All right, and then the other one tonight, you get the Nuggets and Phoenix, Game 1, second round Western Conference. It'll be down in Arizona. Nuggets coming off that 6-game series victory over Portland. Phoenix ousted the Lakers. I mean, both of them have momentum. Jamal Murray's not there, but this might not be the worst of all matchups for them. I like Phoenix in 6. I think Phoenix just has more. But, man, I've been so impressed by the Nuggets and who has been between Monte Morris, between Michael Porter Jr. I mean, I expected Jokic, but the guys who have stepped up in the absence of Jamal Murray, Michael Malone's done a heck of a job as the coach. I think Denver's in this series. I don't think they win it.
I'm right there with you. And as you know, Jeff, players make the plays.
Is that right?
They absolutely do. But I do think we've seen some really good coaching changes in this playoffs because you put those players in position to be successful, whether it's Ty Lue and the Clippers going small, in this case, Michael Malone, leaning on Monte Morris to kind of take over and be the go-to guard in the backcourt. He's risen to the occasion. I think this is going to be a really fun series. But I just look at the edge overall with the performance you're getting out of Devin Booker and Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton was so ridiculously efficient. That's the one thing with Jokic, and that's what people will get on him, is he's not a great defender. So that should allow DeAndre Ayton to at least still be successful on the offensive end. And I think those are the pieces that push Phoenix over the top and what's going to be a fun series. But I could see Phoenix in 6.
It's kind of where I'm leaning. All right, where are you on these? 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. That's how you get to us today. You can send emails, Jeff@sportsanimалabq.com, JJ@sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter, follow JJ. It's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, our Facebook page is The OD in the AM. Anything I missed in the NBA? Laker news? Come on. There's got to be Laker news, right? No, I'm kidding. Hockey last night. Vegas is even that series. Boy, as good as the Avalanche looked in the first two, certainly last night Vegas looked that good. 5-1 was the number last night in Las Vegas.
Colorado's in trouble. And game one was already fluky, a 7-1 victory, and it's even looking more so a fluke than a great performance from Colorado, because really since that moment after the first period of game two, Vegas has dominated this series, and this feels a lot more than just, playing good at home. Colorado has to figure it out quickly, especially after game three, in which Jared Bednar, the Avalanche head coach, called out his top line, and then to see them come out and then play like they did yesterday, the Avalanche are in trouble.
You got smoked last night. They got literally run out of the building last night. All right, when we come back, I want to get into the Julio Jones trade and what that means. He goes to Tennessee. I think that they, with the receiving core they've got, to me, dare I say, the most underrated quarterback in the league. I only say that because I think he's good and nobody ever talks about him. They may be the favorites in the AFC South. So we're going to get into that trade. I want your thoughts on that, where he went and how that all went down. That's coming up next.
It's time to trade in your old self for your new self. And with F45 functional training, full body training in just 45 minutes can get you into a shape maybe you haven't been in a long time. And I know for me, coming off last year when everything shut down, working out at home, I did not have that same energy. I didn't have that same intensity. With F45, it's reignited that spark. I look forward to working out. And F45 functional training, full body workouts in 45 minutes. You're going to hit strength, cardio, everything. What I love about it, it is fun. It is a challenge in the 45-minute classes, the variety of work that you do. You go back to Saturday, we were hitting sleds, we were hitting rows, pull-ups, you name it. All these different movements, that's what they call it, full body functional fitness. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app today so you can take a look at the schedule of classes. Classes are available 7 days a week, so you can find one that works for you. High intensity, results driven classes in just 45 minutes. I'm loving it, and you're going to love it too when you get in there and check it out. You can sign up for your free 7-day trial on the app. Check them out at the Northeast Heights location, 5920 Holly Northeast. It is fantastic, and you're going to ignite something in yourself maybe that you forgot about with F45 training. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer Zero for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced. We're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
So Julio Jones is a 7-time Pro Bowler. He wanted out of Atlanta, got what he wanted, 32 years old. Drafts, what do you get for him? 2nd round and a 4th round pick. You get back a 6th. And he's one of the Tennessee Titans. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. I looked at it, and I could swear I looked back, and wasn't I told last week there was at least a 1st-round pick on the table for him?
There wasn't.
Well, that's what I was told. Now, evidently, with that 1st-round pick, they wanted Atlanta to pick up the salary, or at least part of the salary, and that's what pushed it away. I don't know what more they could have gotten. And obviously, if they could have gotten more, they would have. A 2nd-round pick and a 4th for a guy like Julio Jones seems like a great deal for Tennessee, who lost Corey Davis in the offseason. He's a free agent, went to the Jets. They still have A.J. Brown. They still have Derrick Henry. I told you I think they've got the most underrated quarterback in the league. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's a great quarterback. I think he's a really good quarterback, and I think that nobody ever talks about. You will talk about 27 other quarterbacks in the league before you get to Ryan Tannehill. And all Tannehill has done the last 2 years is be really, really good and statistically top 10. I think that gives him another really good weapon. And what Mike Vrabel's done down there, Tennessee's my favorite. I don't think that's going out on a limb. I mean, the uncertainty with what's going on in Indianapolis, I know people really like Indianapolis in that roster with Carson Wentz there. You have no idea what's going on in Houston with Deshaun Watson and who's going to be the quarterback. Jacksonville won 1 game last year. So I'm not going on a limb to tell you that makes them the favorites in the AFC South. But I think that makes them a contender now. They're not as good as Kansas City, but I think that makes them really good.
Yeah, they were already the favorite in the division without Julio Jones. And this is the kind of team that can make a move like this. They're established. They're not necessarily looking around going, oh, we need pieces over here. They're good defensively. They have their identity around the offensive line and Derrick Henry. And what we've seen, Ryan Tannehill in the play action, A.J. Brown was phenomenal last year. Now it gives them another option to where Julio Jones doesn't have to be the number one. And we started to see that last year in Atlanta, really, with his health issues and the offense moving on to Calvin Ridley and now Kyle Pitts. And he becomes a player that is going into a situation where they expect to go to the postseason, try to go on that run in the playoffs. And it's one that worked out for both sides. Julio Jones let it be known, like, hey, I'm ready to move on. Atlanta's like, all right, fantastic. Let's get rid of your $15 million salary, and they got it done.
They also, in the offseason, acquired Josh Reynolds, who it's not going to wow anybody. That's going to be a nice little addition to them as a third receiver. I think it gives them a lot of weapons. And as you know, with guys getting hurt, and certainly Julio gets hurt, depth is going to be the key for them. Can they stop anybody? And that was the conversation we were having the other day. All right, but what are they defensively? I was really disappointed in them defensively last year. I thought they were going to be a lot better than that. And so I would expect that they get better. But, can they stop anybody? I don't know that I loved their draft. But I look at Tennessee. I mean, that was a team that 2 years ago, didn't they play in the AFC Championship game, right? They went on the road. They won games at Baltimore, and they won. They were up big. Weren't they up big on Kansas City? They beat New England. Yeah, and they were up big on Kansas City, right? In the first quarter, and then Kansas City came back. I like them. What do you know where I am on Tannehill? You know why I like it so much too? Because I'm keeping Tannehill for $1, and now he's got Julio Jones.
Ryan Tannehill is in that class of quarterback that is overlooked because you either, for some reason,
you can't get over Miami.
No, not just that, but in the NFL, when we talk about quarterbacks, you're either elite or you suck. Like there's no in between for people. Like you're either,
I think that's right.
Oh, this guy's going to be an elite quarterback, or he's terrible, and we have to get a new one.
Yeah.
Like there can't be guys that just are good and put you in position to win. It's always got to be like, well, is he a top 3 quarterback? Is he ever going to be elite? Well, Tennessee's found something. They've reignited Ryan Tannehill. To me, it's a lot. It's like the Baker Mayfield conversation. Guys that are kind of on that path. Like maybe we're never going to consider them the best quarterback in the game, but what you got is a guy that's going to help you win football games and potentially can go and run some postseason.
Yeah, I would put him in a class, and there's a small amount in there, and he might even be in the Matthew Stafford class. Mm-hmm. Now, I think everybody would say, Jeff, you're nuts. Matthew Stafford's way better than him. Maybe.
This guy's won in the playoffs.
But I think he's right there. I think he's in the class of Derek Carr, right? To your point, solid guys who have been franchise quarterbacks for a while, and aren't. You know why they don't wow you? Because they don't have that athletic ability. So Aaron Rodgers has got a special ability, right? He's a gunslinger. He also gets away. Tom Brady is just because he's Tom Brady. But after that, Give me a quarterback that we all think is special that isn't considered dual threat.
And Ryan Tannehill kind of is that better guy because he was a wide receiver in college.
See, but and he's so much more athletic than anybody gives him credit for. It's kind of who we having this conversation about recently. It was Alex Smith, right? Alex Smith. If you go back and look at his career, he was pretty good with his legs. He made big plays out of the pocket.
That is the comparison to Ryan Tannehill.
So let me give you a reason why they're like that, and whether you like it or not, it is what it is. You don't think of a tall Caucasian quarterback as being athletic, and whoever you are, right? But when you tell me about all the guys that are special, you think about Deshaun Watson, and you think about Patrick Mahomes, and you think about Russell Wilson, and you think about Lamar Jackson. And you think about Dak Prescott, right? Oh, they can look how they get out of the pocket. Well, take a look at some of the film. Take a look at some of the tape, some of the video. I guess I evolved 3 terms into one. 3, right? And watch Ryan Tannehill get out of the pocket. Watch what Alex Smith used to do before the injury and watch him get away. Look at what Josh Allen can do with his legs, by the way. And you realize that these are – look, I put Tannehill in the conversation with a Derek Carr, I'll put him there with Matthew Stafford. I don't know, Matt Ryan. I mean, is that fair? Matt Ryan went to a Super Bowl. Is he in that Matt Ryan conversation?
I think he's getting there. I think Matt Ryan is
touch above,
a touch above, but
okay. I'll listen to that.
Is classifying differently at the end of his career. But coming back to Alex Smith, that is the perfect comparison to Alex Smith in terms of a quarterback
Ryan Tannehill.
That, yes, it's quarterback like on a good football team that you're going to be successful, but people are always just going to be saying you can do better. You can find that Patrick Mahomes. You can do this, you can do that, because it's either you're elite or you're nothing.
Yeah.
In quarterback talk.
No, I think that's right. And I think the other thing is people will just have a problem forgetting how he started out his career in Miami. And I'm going to point to Miami and say, really? Well, who won in Miami? I'm asking. Who won in Miami? Because he's been in Tennessee for 2 years, and they were 7-3 and 11-5. That makes him 18-8. That's a pretty good NFL quarterback, isn't it? As far as a record. He's completing the first year in Tennessee, he completed 70.3% of his passes. Last year, 65.5% of his passes. I'm just going to sit here and tell you that's pretty damn good. So I think he went first year 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Look at his numbers last year. He completed 65.5% of his passes, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But you didn't have him on your fantasy team because you wanted whoever you wanted, right? I'm keeping him for $1. He's a keeper for $1. Tell me I don't win that one, even if he's my backup. You want Ryan Tannehill?
Not too shabby.
I think he's done a heck of a job there. Before that, what did he do? Did he throw interceptions? Yeah, his first few years at Miami, he threw interceptions. God, I didn't realize he was in Miami that long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in Miami. 12 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 24 and 17, 27 and 12, 24 and 12, 19 and 12. And then 17 and 9, they got rid of him. I tell you what, I don't know if Mike Vrabel and that staff and their quarterback coach are just that good, or he was just in a better situation. But I'm going to give a hell of a lot of credit to what Tennessee did. They found a guy. They put him on a 1-year deal. Then they signed him and they paid him. You can find a quarterback. And they chose him over Marcus Mariota, over the guy that they invested their first round pick into. And I give them so much credit because that's a hard Band-Aid to rip off, right? That's a hard Band-Aid to rip off when you invest into a first round pick and you got some guy off the scrap heap and you decide, you know what? The guy we found on the scrap heap, so to speak, is better than our first round pick. That's the guy we're going to pay. That's a hard realization to come to, isn't it? When you invested that? Until you sit there and look at the tape and you look at the results and you realize, that guy's better than that guy.
Yeah, and it's fascinating looking at doing the comparisons to Alex Smith and Ryan Tannehill, and they are like the same person.
Yeah.
Stat-wise in their careers.
Yeah, they're and both really good quarterbacks. Really good career. You don't have to be a Hall of Famer to be a good quarterback. There's a lot of good quarterbacks. But to your point, I hadn't even put it in that terms in my mind. You're either elite or you stink. You're either Joe Montana or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or you're garbage. You're Jamarcus Russell. Come on now. Come on. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this league. Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan. All right, maybe if you want to put them at a little higher echelon, maybe. Alex Smith, Ryan Tannehill. Sam Darnold maybe end up being in that. Who else did I put in that?
Well, I think this is the year to find out if Matthew Stafford is that guy.
Yeah, that's right.
We've kind of
a spot to win.
Kind of gotten by with Detroit stinks, and he's never really had anything.
Yep.
Well, now this is his chance to be that guy.
I think he's better than Kirk Cousins ever has been. Tannehill.
Yeah, straight up talent-wise.
I mean, no, just never mind talent-wise, result-wise.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Jones is in that conversation of, he's pretty good, but let's see what you got. Carson Wentz may end up being that guy. Good, not great.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a bunch of them. All right, 505-246-0610. Your thoughts on the Julio Jones trade, and who made out on that? I think Tennessee got a great deal. If you're Atlanta, you got a second and a third. All right, and you're not garbage. You still got Russell Gage and Calvin Ridley. You just got a great tight end, supposedly, in the draft. You should still be okay. You lost. How much did you play with Julio Jones anyway last year? Not that much. Going away on vacation, summertime, you going taking a trip? You going to go to the mountains, going to go see grandma, going back east, going to Europe? Where are you going? More so for me, who's watching your home? I hope it's going to be the good guys and not the bad guys. Call International Protective Service, IPS. That's who I trust to watch my home. Not just when I'm on vacation, but every single day. They roll by my place, and if your alarm goes off, IPS responds with trained, armed security officers within 5 to 7 minutes. Happened to me just 2 weekends ago. Was out of town. Got calls, my alarm went off. My neighbor's going, hey, your alarm's going off. And you know, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, dude. I mean, imagine. Really? Am I getting broken into? What's up? And they were there. Boom. And I don't know why it went off, but they secured the property and everything was good. And it made me feel a hell of a lot better not being near home. I know a lot of you signed up for Armed Protective Service with a company that has now since been sold. And you wanted local protection. Your security's in the hands of a company from out of state. It's not what you wanted, not what you signed up for. It's not what you have to have. Call International Protective Service at 505-897-2420. That's 897-2420. You can go online and look at them at ipsglobal.com. Aaron is committed to making Albuquerque a better place to live and work. It's that simple. Call them. Protect what's important to you. Don't wait until it's too late. 505-897-2420 or visit them at ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a... Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's other way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
The count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in.
All right, we got a lot going on in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is still a Packer, but now you got Julio Jones with the Tennessee Titans. How do you feel about that, and where does that go? And who won that trade? I think it's great for the Tennessee Titans.
Titans?
Yeah.
Because you know what you can do now? You can load manage Julio. You don't need him to be a superstar at 32 years old.
And you can expect him to be a superstar at 32 years old.
You can work your way through the season. He's going to have some big games opposite A.J. Brown. And you get to the postseason, there you go.
Yep.
All in.
Yep, and now you got 2 big receivers now. All right, in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is still a Packer. And I asked, it's really been weird with the fan base, right? And there's a few Packer fans who call us, and just watching what their fan base does, where their fan base has been. And some have been so loyal to Aaron Rodgers, he's our quarterback. He's my quarterback. And some have just been loyal to the organization, and you don't do this. And their team president has finally said, his name is Mark Murphy. He published his monthly column, I guess, he puts it out on the team website. And he confirmed that basically that this whole thing is split their fan base. And it's like, well, no duh. The longer this goes, the more you think that they're going to hold out on him and make him play there. You got mandatory camps that start this week. Mandatory. He gets fined almost $40,000 a day that he misses. He's not going to be there. I mean, I just don't see him being there. Jordan Love's fine. That's fine. But at some point, they need resolution here, don't they?
I don't think the Packers are looking for a resolution that involves Aaron Rodgers anywhere other than Green Bay.
Completely.
So they will continue to fine him, or at least tally up the fines, and who knows what they work out after the fact. Because I believe Aaron Rodgers, when it's all said and done, is still going to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Whether he somehow sits out some games or pushes it to the very end, I do not see Green Bay trading Aaron Rodgers at this point in time. And I think it just goes back to what Mark Murphy was saying over the weekend, what Matt LaFleur has said is they acknowledge what Aaron has said, but they're still in a better position with that dude as their quarterback. And to this point, Aaron Rodgers hasn't had his Julio Jones moment. He hasn't said on national TV, I'm out of here.
And he sure had his chance. Mm-hmm. He absolutely had his chance. Mark Murphy basically said, look, we're very much aware of Aaron's concerns, but we're committed to him in 2021 and beyond. So I don't know what all the noise is about. I get down to it. Obviously, he doesn't like Brian Gutekunst, right? The GM. I don't know what happened there. I don't know that you can just go. It sounds so easy. I hear all the time. We'll fire Gutekunst. How to say it for me?
Fire the GM.
Fire the GM. Can you the appearance of and I understand this is not just a player, but my player said fire him, and so I fired him. It's a tough pill to swallow. Is this that player that you? Well, but all right. If that's what we got to do, we got to do. And what did he do to get fired? Like I want to know what he did to piss off Aaron Rodgers.
Is it all about
Jordan Love?
The Jordan Love draft?
You're getting me no help. Meanwhile, they just got Julio Jones. We didn't. Everybody else is getting, so the Jets got Corey Davis. We didn't. I still got Alan Lazard and Valdez Scantling and all these great receivers running around the league. 505-246-0610. Get to some of your emails. USA beat Mexico. What does that mean? Is it a big deal? Logan Paul went the distance with Floyd Mayweather. What does that mean? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. And Pro.
He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the three-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
And he brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. Put over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're
Things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
In New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Buck.
What a weekend you just had, huh? Clippers get through. LA's got basketball, kind of. Well, no, they do. The Hawks beat the Sixers. The number 1 seed in the East is down 1-0. Got a hockey series now with the Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. John Rahm, we still need to talk about at the Memorial. Boy, was that nuts. Julio Jones is a Tennessee Titan. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck got a text. Ralph is a Rams fan. He says, Rams had no draft capital left to trade for Julio after trading every draft pick for the next 15 years for Stafford, who statistically is really no better than Goff. Still think an awful trade, and the surf is blown out. Slop. Winds in May and June have been no bueno. Ralph's cranky in North County.
No surf on a Monday?
Bad, sloppy surf, and the Rams can't go get Julio Jones, bruh. You know what I'm saying? All right, 246.
They need him.
Do the Rams need Julio Jones?
Like, it would have been really nice.
I mean, do they need him?
Yep. Yeah, right.
Who's their number one
Robert
receiver?
Woods and
Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp, pretty good.
They could have used him.
Okay. So could every team in there.
That's right. So could Tennessee could have used him. Did they need him? Nah, nobody. I mean, did they need him? Probably not. Clippers beat the Mavericks yesterday, 126-111. Game 7. Clippers will move on. They will play Utah in the next round of the West. Hawks beat the Sixers 128-124. So the Hawks move on. Move on to game 2. They're up 1-0. Late last night, Vegas Golden Knights 5. Avalanche 1. That series is tied 1 game apiece. I want to hit the golf. You know I will watch any turn. I don't even care. I love watching the golf. John Rahm was killing it at the Memorial. John Rahm is one of the top 5 players in the world. Big Spaniard from Arizona State. Had a 6-stroke lead coming off of 18 on Saturday. Was going to go into. I mean, he was going to win the tournament. That guy's got a 6-stroke lead. He was going to win the tournament, right?
Yes.
John Rahm's not blowing a 6-stroke. I mean, no guarantees, but he was going to win. They tell him when he comes off. So he had been tested. He was under the contact tracing protocol. The PGA Tour for the last 15 months since they came back has had this protocol where if you test positive, obviously you're out. But if you contact tracing, you're being tested regularly. Well, the second round was rain delayed and went into the morning on Saturday. So he was tested between the 2 rounds, between the second and third. Positive test came back somewhere around his 14th hole the medical staff of the PGA Tour ordered a confirmed test. Like really? Dude, run that again. And it came back while he was playing 18. So they take him off. He comes off of 18. He's feeling good. And they tell him right there, and he drops down into it, bend over. He didn't drop down to his knee. And you could see he's just obviously just, I mean, how would you feel? Steph, you got COVID. You're winning. You're going to win another $1.5 million or whatever. Not only you not get a chance for that, but, oh, by the way, you tested positive for COVID. Everything about it is brutal. Like everything about it is brutal. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you that the fact that the PGA Tour got to this point and went 15 months without something like that happening. You've had guys that have had to miss because of positive tests, but that was before they started. I'm stunned that it got this far. That it didn't happen before.
And that's a credit to the work that has been done by these leagues and athletes to continue to test and do the right things, that when you get to game day, you're able to, whether it's a tournament or a game, a series, whatever it may be, get the job done. So it's an absolute credit to all the leagues and players that are still battling it, because as we saw this weekend, it's still real that he can take you out.
How about the way they handled it? I mean, couldn't they have waited until he got into the scoring tent or into the building and told him there instead of in front of the cameras? Did we need that made-for-TV moment?
No, I didn't understand that.
Was it so? And I can understand you want to let him know as soon as possible. And maybe it is you've got to keep him away from hugging people and kissing people on the way in or shaking hands. All the way just shaking hands with Xander Schauffele and whoever else he was playing with. Was Scotty Scheffler, right? He was playing in that group. They both came off. They shook hands there. Remember when we started this COVID thing? That's how you transmit it, by shaking hands, right? Now, those guys obviously were under contact tracing and continued. As of now, they've not tested positive. U.S. Open's 2 weeks away. He may or may not be able to play in that. Sometimes I understand, like, hey, what we're doing, or, well, I didn't want him to be in touch with anybody else. Well, then you just let him shake hands with those. What are we doing? And I got one of those "what are we doing" emails this morning. And I'll find it for you. But what are we doing, Jeff? He says, Les. Here's a guy who looked great and apparently felt great, opening up a 6-length lead. I don't see the risk he poses standing alone in the fairway. Who's he going to infect? This cicadas? Yeah, there were cicadas all over the place. Just they were landing on the hats. It was a bad see. What's the right way? Is it a Justin Turner moment? You go out and pull him off the fairway? Like I don't know what the right way was, but if you were going to let him finish the round, then get him to the tent.
Yeah, get him to the tent. And this is the next question. So is it, he was asymptomatic.
Yes.
He's winning a golf tournament.
Yes.
And you can't not acknowledge someone that's tested positive.
Obviously.
You can't. Because then you could still even spread it at that point in time.
That's
but you allowed him to finish the round whenever that came in. You allowed him to shake his opponent's hands, and you didn't take his opponents off the golf course due to contact.
Well, they also would test, right, and they didn't test positive.
And so you have to acknowledge it, you have to deal with it, but could you have let him finish the tournament and say, John, you have to mask up. It's just you and your caddy. And you're going to have to keep a distance, because when you look at the overall picture, you have to do something if the guy tests positive. You have to, because he can still spread it. We get that. But then looking at the tournaments we've seen, the PGA Championship. And oh, by the way, I was watching a playoff on 18, and it was Scotty Scheffler at that moment, sitting out of the rough. He hits a shot, and he's immediately surrounded by a crowd of people.
That's
have no idea what they're doing, and they're maskless.
Yeah, look. In this game, you have close contact with the fans. Here's why you couldn't do it, because you got your protocol, right? You've got your rules in place. Now, if you want to tell me today you're going to change the rules for next week going forward, you can do that. You can't. I don't think you can. And you're going to sit there. I listen. I'm hearing people coming through my headphones. Why can't you? Why can't you change it on the fly? Why can't you? Well, you put your rules, your protocols in place. can he go out there? Obviously, he's not vaccinated, which is fine. That's his choice. To your point, you spray a ball to the right, and you got 150 people around your ball, and there's more than that, and you're in the crowd. The answer is no. You can't let him go once he tested positive. That's your protocol. Could he finish the tournament? Tell him he's just got to stand alone. How are you doing that? He's got a mask. You're going to watch John Rahm play mask tomorrow? He's out there on Sunday with a you laugh, Steph. I watched every high school athlete in our state compete masked.
They're
Golf, baseball, football. They're still doing it. Baseball, cross country. Yeah, I mean, it became commonplace. I didn't even blink at it. But can you tell that guy you've got to mask up and play tomorrow? I hear you. He feels fine, but are you putting other people at risk?
Yeah. And then that's where it becomes, well, if you know for sure you have a positive test, and they do.
It's a test. Yeah.
And you got to pull them out of the tournament.
James, good morning. Bruin James, you're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Are you Clipper James now?
No, you never do that. No. Little upset. I was watching the College World Series this weekend.
Oh,
right?
The Bruins are out.
And, Bruins are out. But Rachel Garcia kept throwing this curveball. It was down, but it was a strike, okay? Every time she would throw it, the ump would call a ball. But the announcers, they looked at it through the computer and all that, and every time she threw the pitch, it was a strike. So what I didn't get was, if it's a strike, why was the ump calling it a ball? And you could look at it through the computer, and it was a strike. All right, fast forward. I was watching the Yankees and Boston game last night.
Oh, was that a bad one?
And he throws the strike, and they're arguing with the ref, like the ump.
Yeah, the guy calls it.
And they blew the call. And I'm like, so why do they need an ump behind the plate when they have the
strike zone, the automated strike zone?
Yeah, the strike. Exactly. So
JJ?
why do they need an ump?
JJ says they don't.
I'm standing on, man. You guys have a good day, bro.
You take this.
Well, you need an ump to handle the double switches, plays at home, first, rulings. Still need an umpire out there. But robot strike zone.
You're all about the robot strike zone, huh?
Mm-hmm. They're jobs. You said it was jobs. The fix was in.
Yeah. Did you see the Yankee game last night? Rougned Odor was up. 1-run game, man on second. Tied game 4-4, ninth inning. This pitch had to be 8 inches off the plate. I mean, it was so far, like strike zone. The announcers are going, oh, no! They showed it from every angle. And then the Yankees started chirping and dudes started getting tossed. It was like that's one of the worst misses I've seen. JJ is a big proponent of the robo strike zone. Take it away from.
Hey!
It was as bad as I've seen. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. It's the opening drive. What do you think of the John Rahm situation? What do you do? Should John Rahm been able to play COVID positive on Sunday? 6-stroke lead, asymptomatic, felt fine. Do you mask him up and keep him away from everyone and let him play? Or do you have your protocols, which I think is, unfortunately, as much as I hate to tell you that, I think is the right answer. And you got to shut him down. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal and ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Gladiators got beat over the weekend 58-57 in Frisco. A last-second 32-yard field goal was the difference. Boom, at the gun. Nate Davis hit Dello Davis 6 touchdown passes. And they had a 2-point conversion. 47 seconds remaining. Things look good for Duke City. But Bryce Crawford of the Frisco Fighters hit the game-winning field goal, JJ, at the gun. Gladiators are 1-2. They go and see Dominic Bramante, their former coach, this week up in northern Arizona in Prescott. They'll play there. United were winners on the road Friday night, 1-0. They won at Real Salt Lake, and a crazy, they probably should have had a goal somewhere in there before, and a free kick that just bounces that the goaltender played to get headed or deflected, and it just drop in.
It was a very fitting goal for a game that saw so many half chances from United. They didn't finish anything. And then to have a second half free kick, it was just a ball played into the box. Hey, maybe someone will head it in. You get a second touch on it, and no one touches it. Keeper's expecting a touch and then reacts late and just bounces over him into the goal.
Yeah, that was it. Ball game.
3 points.
Thanks for coming. So they win 1-0. Ice Topes got beat last night by Vegas. They're back home again tonight. I'm going to guess 6:15. How come? Who's going to hear on the weekend? Like, if it doesn't affect them, it goes away. 6:15, I believe, is the pregame show that they will play the Las Vegas Aviators out at Ice Topes Park. All right, did you pay any attention to the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight?
I did.
All right, I did not. So tell me why I care. So there was no winner, no loser. It went the distance. There were no judges, and so that makes pretty much Logan Paul the winner, doesn't it?
That he survived 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. It does. People were tuning in to see someone get knocked out. That didn't happen. And it's also, you look and it's a dude twice the size of Floyd Mayweather. First couple rounds he came out, he's throwing haymakers, and then the last few rounds he's like, "Oh, this is tiring." Like, yes, it is. It's very tiring, even if you think you're in shape. It's a different world when you try to box even 8 3-minute rounds. A lot of hugging, not a lot going on. Floyd Mayweather told you what was up. He said, "I'm not a boxer anymore. I'm an entertainer." This was all about the money. They got paid. They got the dough.
How much they get?
I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure it's a ridiculous amount
stacks,
of
right?
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What does it say about Floyd? Is there anything about his? He fought a guy. To your point,
that he's in the money making business.
We've known that. I mean, he's really, 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 really good at that. He's still undefeated. He fought a guy way bigger than him. To your point, what have his last 2 fights been? Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm struggling and I need help. Why do I care?
It's just entertainment. It's similar. The only way I could think of it, because I knew you were going to ask this question because you asked it last week.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's not it doesn't interest you, but it's Phil Mickelson on a golf course with a quarterback playing around a golf.
I guess that's probably right. Okay, that's really good, actually. I mean, Logan Paul swings and swings and swings. He's a big, strong guy. I looked at the highlights because I had to. Maybe there's part of me that says, gosh, I wish I would have cared. Maybe I should have taken a look at it. Maybe it would have entertained me, kind of like the way Phil Mickelson.
A lot of it, too, is about the broadcast, like the people they have on. Yeah. Desus and Mero were doing their thing. So it's just all about the entertainment, not necessarily some ridiculous competition that you're in watching for it. And you're waiting to see, is someone to get knocked out? No one got knocked out. I don't know. I didn't know who expects Floyd really to knock anyone out. But
where was it? Because whatever it is looks full.
And sold tickets, sold pay-per-view, and there you go.
Yeah. There's part of me now that says, gosh, maybe I would have been entertained. It's very much the same way I'm entertained by watching Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady.
And I think that was even more entertaining.
Well, yeah, whatever you like. I mean, do your thing. If that entertains you, that's good. I'm never going to tell you how to be a fan, right? Logan Paul threw twice as many punches, almost 217 punches. Now he landed almost half. Out of the 217, he landed 13%, 28 punches. Mayweather landed 43 out of his 107, 40%. Who won the fight? If you would have judged the fight, who won the fight?
Floyd.
Yeah.
The boxer landed punches. There's actually a moment, it was going around last night too. There was, I don't know what round it was in exactly, but it was later in the fight where Floyd catches him with a right, and then it looks like he's done. And then Floyd just kind of holds him up.
Just to keep it going?
It's like, let's just make sure this goes the distance.
Because we get paid more if it goes the different distance? Yes. All right, I'm curious, if y'all watch that, I kind of there's a piece of me now as I watch the highlights, because it's such an anomaly, right? It's a guy that's just out just throwing haymakers and throwing. It's so unconventional, and that's kind of why I watch that golf thing between different guys, right? It's not the highly trained, skilled guy. It's just a guy, big, strong, pro guy, or big, strong fighter, not a pro. Floyd will do it again, huh? Will he fight the other brother now?
Absolutely, Floyd will do it again. As long as they're paying him and people are buying pay-per-views. Floyd Mayweather said he is retired from boxing, but he's still in there.
But he's in the money-making business. I don't blame him. No, I don't. Look, if you're going to pay me stacks and stacks and stacks to go out and do that, and my legacy's set and it doesn't matter and I still got a ton of money, I'll go do it. Tommy, what's up?
It's all crap, all of it. No, I'm just joking. I'm starting to realize, coming the truth back at you guys, it's just an entertainment thing. I'm not going to take it that serious. You know, you want to see a bunch of guys hug in the middle of the ring in a fixed fight, exhibition fight. You can watch that if you want. I won't watch it because I think it's all crap. And I'll say this about Logan Paul. Am I surprised he lasted 8 rounds? Not honestly, no. Because if it's a fix and you're just messing around, I mean, you can last 8 rounds if a guy. And Floyd's not fighting his hardest. He's not. He's just in there to entertain. That's all he's doing. But like I said, I didn't pay to see it. I kind of watched a little bit of the highlights, and that was it. And I wasn't impressed by him. I mean, it's easy to be in a ring with someone that's not really going all out. And if this was a real bout, Mayweather would go all out. He'd beat the guy. We all know that. Is Logan Paul the greatest entertainer in the world? Like he's declaring out? No. I rather watch, comment TV, good old-fashioned movies on there, or maybe Daniel Day-Lewis. But people are paying to see it, and you can't do nothing with millennials that buy crap. Can't do nothing about it. And the thing I wanted to ask you guys too, another thing about the Duke City Gladiators, they moved up. Is the original owner still there, the Gina Finkscorn Thomas? Does she still own the team?
Yeah, but she's not the original owner, but she's the owner now. Yeah.
Okay, she's owned it the last 2 or 3 years, correct?
Yeah, yes, last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, they're playing the former coach next week, right?
That's correct.
I hope he beats the crap out of him. You don't fire a coach that won back-to-back championships. And this is why I say this. I went to one of the games, I went to one of the events, and I went up to her and I asked her, hey, I hope you guys win back-to-back championships before they won, 2 in a row. And she was all drunk and she said she don't give a what. That totally lost respect for that whole organization. You do not treat people that pay the highest amount of a ticket to sit close to the field and treat them like that at an event. I had no respect for her, and I don't have no respect for a firing coach that won back-to-back. She was terrible to me, and I'm a fan paying for a ticket to see your team, to support your team. You don't treat people like that, and I lost all respect. I was hoping she didn't own the team anymore. She doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. Don't treat fans that way, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the situation was, but yeah, Dominic's
she was drunk. Well, she was drunk, and she told me that. I was like, I'm just trying to support your team. You tell me you don't give an F? You don't do that to a fan that pays the highest price for your ticket to watch your team and support it.
That's how you people always remember that stuff. And look, a lot of people around here like Dominic, and he was in the community, he did a lot of things, made a lot of friends. They play him 4 times, and this is going to be the first time it's going to be up at their place.
I hope those coach beats him because, like I said, I thought they should have kept him. I think he was a pretty good coach from what I saw.
Think that. So. Thanks, Tommy. Yep, Dominic did a lot for that organization. He was the one that was out there, and obviously there's probably not a lot of love lost between Dom and the owner. I know Martino Theus and Dominic worked together for a long time. Martino's the current coach. I mean that'll interest you a little bit when Dominic comes back. They're up in Arizona this week. But I think when he comes back into Albuquerque with his new team, I think that'll interest a few people.
Very intriguing storyline.
505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I want to get into a little bit, we're not going deep into the USA Soccer, but what the USA Soccer result over Mexico yesterday means. JJ's pumped. I mean, pumped.
Yes.
United won. USA beat Mexico. See? Tommy's going, what are we doing? It's the opening drive.
If you want to be at the top of your game, do you want to be the ultimate entertainer? You can get in shape with F45 training. F45 training, full body functional fitness, and it has helped me get back that energy, which actually helps everyday life. When you have that focus on your fitness, it's going to help you through your day. It's going to give you the extra boost of energy. When F45 functional training, it's just 45 minutes. You're going to be able to fit it into your day. Busy, things are going on. Working late, dropping the kids off, have to figure it out. But it's just 45 minutes. You can get yourself a fantastic workout. You might spend hours in the gym trying to achieve with F45 functional training. It's a new class each and every single day to push your mind and body forward. You're not going to overwhelm your muscles if you're taking a class 2 days, 3 days in a row because they switched it up. They dropped a new program, new focus. It's fantastic. So check out it at f45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Then take a look at the schedule of classes available at the Northeast Heights location. They have classes 7 days a week, so you're going to find that 45 minutes that works for you so you can get that spark back. Or looking to challenge yourself to get to that next level, F45 is the place for you. Certified trainers, each and every class help motivate and modify. The atmosphere is fantastic, and you're going to love the workouts as well. So check them out, F45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch that he struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. Put over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Been doing in Europe.
Okay.
And
so that's new here?
They finally did it over here. And the reason for it is to have more competitive matches for your national teams instead of just setting up friendlies, actually give them a tournament atmosphere in which there's something to play for.
All right. So the national team wins a late penalty kick and then a late penalty save.
Subkeeper for the win.
Can you help me understand this? I'm told there's no penalties in soccer, right? They're fouls, and then you get a card, but they're fouls. But yet there's penalty kicks. How did we decipher if there's no penalties? Then why do we get penalty kicks? They're fouls and they're infractions, but there's no penalties. Just curious on the semantics.
I guess because you don't call them foul throws, call them free throws.
All right, but if you say, "Oh, that's a penalty," no, damn it, it's a foul. It's not a match.
I don't know who you hang out with, but you need to switch it up.
No, man, I like my people. My people are good. My people are good. I'm just asking.
I don't know who's giving you that much junk over wording.
It's wording. All right. So what does it mean?
What it means.
What does it mean?
Is
it a
Mexico
result
threw out a good squad?
Yeah.
Both these teams were in it to win it, and the United States overcame two deficits. They were down 1-0 within the first minute. Then it was 2-1. It was 2-2. And they won a real competitive game over Mexico. And it reignites some hope for the disaster that was not qualifying for the World Cup. And it shows some promise once again for this young core of players that is playing really good overseas. But the question is, all right, can you guys be good when you're not on Juventus or Barcelona or Chelsea? Can you come together and be a good United States team when you're not surrounded by all those good dudes over there? And last night was a moment of, okay, I can see this team actually starting to live up to some of the hype.
So there's some hope. When's the next competition that matters? Not that the League of Nations doesn't matter.
World Cup qualifying for the next.
And the next World Cup is in 22 next year?
Is what is up next for the United States that matters.
So it's a while. All right, so you got time to make this happen. All right, so that they're
and beating Mexico. That is one of the most intense games. It is the only rivalry that matters to the United States. You don't care if they beat Cuba or the Dominican Republic. Like, United States, Mexico is what matters. And knowing that even these games that are played in the United States, the majority of the crowd is rooting for Mexico. So the environment.
What happened after the game?
What happened during the game is after Pulisic scored the penalty, they're celebrating in the corner, and the fans started throwing bottles and whatnot onto the field at the players. And good on you, Mexico fans, because there was a moment where you actually hit one of your own players, doinked him. So good job, good effort. And definitely at the top of the ladder of fan bases that don't really like is Mexico soccer fans.
More so than Knick fans?
Yes.
Who spit? More so than Philly fans who drop popcorn? Throw batteries? Mexican soccer fans. All right. So that's what that meant. So was that the final of the Nations League Cup or whatever?
Got a cool little trophy, and just it's a moment in that rivalry that you can say we got one finally.
All right.
Finally.
Reason to celebrate, soccer fan. That and your 1-0 United win over Real Monarchs in minor league soccer. I'm sorry, in USL. I slipped. In USL the other day. Good win for them. Needed that. Troy Lesane was out. I know he was there, but he did not technically manage or coach the match from the sideline. We call it a sideline, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Call it whatever you want. No one's going to stop you here.
I appreciate that. All right. You also had Belmont over the weekend. Gopher said the right horse is wrong place. Didn't an OD caller predict the top two finishers in the Belmont as their winning ticket in the Derby? I believe that to be correct. Doesn't count when you have last week's lottery numbers and they come up this week. It doesn't matter. Gus is in on the Isotopes. Most desperate team theory tested, Jeff, with a season-long 12 upcoming games away from the friendly confines. You think Albuquerque baseball team needs to take advantage of the home cooking for the next 36 hours? Yes, they do. Yes, they desperately need to win. You see College World Series? You see the Mountain West? Well, not the College World Series. It's the NCAA regionals. The Mountain West is entrant into the postseason. How they did? Do you know who it was?
Was it Nevada?
It was Nevada. You know why I said was? Because it's now past tense. Nevada played in the Palo Alto region, and as Maurice said, Nevada, a team that won your league going away. They won 15 consecutive Mountain West games to end the season. They were 10 lengths clear of the Lobos. Yet they get to the NCAA and they score 1 point, get 7 hits in 2 games combined. That's not wake-up call for the state of Mountain West baseball right now. Where Omaha left the program, I don't know what it is. It says Maurice. They lost their first game to UC Irvine, a perennial power, by a score of 7-0. And then were eliminated yesterday, JJ, by North Dakota State 6-1. So Nevada, representing the Mountain West Conference, got outscored in their 2 and done, thanks for coming, by a score of 13-1. Another not very good showing in the postseason for the Mountain West Conference. That's all I got for
Work to do.
I didn't watch the games. Yeah.
I've been watching more of the softball.
Because it's right in front of you. You can't miss it. You can't get out of the way. It's amazing how much softball's on my TV.
Yeah, softball's been on ESPN, and the Deuce had some of the college baseball.
Yeah, I saw Ole Miss and Arkansas yesterday. Is that what I was watching?
James Madison.
Rooting hard for James Madison.
What a story.
Yeah. I was rooting for Scott Stigler University.
Oh, you got them bats.
That's right. That's Stig's alma mater now. Stig. Helped him with some tickets in Frisco a few years ago when they were playing in the FCS championship game against, I believe, was it Carson Wentz's team or Trey Lance's team? When James Madison played North Dakota State in the FCS championship.
I don't think it was.
It was either one of them.
It
was a guy in between them.
Yeah.
It was whoever was in between them.
that one guy.
Yeah, that guy. The guy was in between them. All right, 505-246-0610. Stephanie's producing for us on the radio. And Aaron's producing us for us on the television side. Of course, you can watch our show every day on Comcast Channel 26, ProView Network's YouTube channel, and our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Out and moving again? Summer, I believe, officially is next week. But you're out living, loving. Feels good, doesn't it? Are you ready, fellas? You feeling well? If you're not feeling well, I suggest you call New Mail and feel like you again. If you're dealing with some natural things like fatigue, low T, even erectile dysfunction, there's a place right here in Albuquerque that can help you take care of that. New Mail has been the trailblazer when it comes to men's health for years. They will help you. 505-652-1688 is their number, or you can visit them online. New Mail, that's NUMALE.com. You'll feel better. You already know this, but I'm going to tell you again. As you age, men, things like hair loss, weight gain, even ED happen. Really, really good chance that you're going to be affected. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. In fact, the only thing to be embarrassed about is if you don't do anything about it when something's right there. Do something. Call New Mail at 505-652-1688. New Mail's here in Albuquerque. It's comfortable. But the best part about this whole thing is the results. They are real. Proven and absolutely real. It works, and men all over the country feel better. Call New Mail at 505-652-1688 or visit newmail.com and feel better.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla.
Going on right now, French Open. Novak Djokovic in a fifth set. He just beat Musetti 6-love. So he was down. He lost the first two 7-6, 7-6. But it looks like the old guy's got more stamina because he's won the fourth and fifth set 6-1, 6-love. So he's certainly been the better of the players. But Novak Djokovic is in a fifth set trying to stay alive at the French Open. It's going on right now. Coco Gauff is is advanced as we go through that as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. What was the biggest headline for you coming out of the weekend? Was it is it Julio? Is it some of the basketball? Is it Logan Paul going the distance with Floyd Mayweather? Is it anything local? Is it the John Rahm thing on the golf course? Like of all the what's the biggest story?
I think the most shocking thing was John Rahm and how that went down.
Mm-hmm.
With the 6-stroke lead, finishing 18 on Saturday. And by the way, you just tested positive for COVID, so you're gonna have to withdraw from the tournament.
Yeah, you're done.
When I think all of us would agree he'd go on to win that tournament.
No doubt.
So that was I think the most shocking thing. It ended up being a fun watch at the end, though, when it went to a playoff.
Because he was gone.
Because John Rahm wasn't there. But that was definitely the most shocking thing. And then just everything the Eastern Conference game won, whether James Harden going down and then Brooklyn still winning, which sets up what I believe is a must-win game for the Milwaukee Bucks.
With James Harden out, even though it's a road game for them, you feel it's a must-win game for them. They're going to have to win at least one on the road if they're going to win the series. And this would probably have to be a down 1-0. And basically, Brooklyn played entirety of game one without James Harden and controlled that game and won that game. I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't feel as desperate for the one seed who lost game one at home, the Philadelphia 76ers 128-124 to Atlanta, because I think ultimately they're going to prove to be better than Atlanta. your point on Milwaukee, then that's a 2-3 series, right? That's Milwaukee's a 3, New Jersey. Brooklyn is the 2. How many years were they New Jersey? Most of your life. I agree with that. They need to win. How critical is Harden and that? Because I think Brooklyn could still win a championship without James Harden. If James Harden doesn't play again, I still think they can win. Now, obviously, that's not preferable. But I think they're that good.
Yeah, without James Harden, it brings them closer to the pack. But with James, they have an unbelievable offensive rating, so it makes up for some of the other deficiencies that the team has. And it's the thing you see. I get it. He's a weird dude. There's a lot of questions of Kyrie, but that man can play basketball at a very high level and is very good. You saw that in Game 1. And so that's why I think tonight is so important for Milwaukee to get one there, because you're not going to get 18 points out of Blake Griffin. Like, they got this ridiculous game from their stars. Now it's time for Milwaukee to step up and answer and put some pressure on Brooklyn without James Harden and make it just KD and Kyrie and shut everyone else down.
Yeah, I think it's really big for Milwaukee. I'm going to even look at a macro picture, a bigger picture than just what it is for tonight. Obviously, for the series, it's big. If they lose this series in 4 or 5 games, is it back to the drawing board? Where do they go? How do they get better? Because they think they're on the brink. And you go out in the second round in 4 or 5 games, with all due respect, you're not on the brink.
You're not. And you're sitting there going, what else can we do? Of course, get the other superstar. That ain't easy. There's not always one just floating around.
And you're Milwaukee. There's not a lot of free agents that are flocking to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You're not Miami. You're not Los Angeles. You're not even New York. It's a tough one. 505-246-0610. When we come back, we'll hear from the Brooklyn Nets on the injuries and how they go forward. Hey, Aaron's producing for you on the ProView Network side. It's Stephanie in today for a very long load managing Bobcat. I don't even know who. I come in every morning. I don't know if you're here, if he's here. It's good to see your smiling face, though. Because whenever I see your smiling face, I have to smile myself. There's something about you, James Taylor. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
You have many broken hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Cade Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the 5th.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a... Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra messed us with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
And he brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. Good over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Buck.
Do we know who that is? 7 a.m. Where's your brother? Is that what that asked me? Like, who is that, Aaron? Do you know? You do.
Kind of sounds like REM.
No. No, Aaron kind of thinks he knows. Maybe he's looking it up now. But now he's figuring out how to turn his mic on. I can see him.
It's the same guys who did the Breakfast at Tiffany song. It's like the Great Blue or something like that.
Interesting. All right. I know there's a little Taylor Swift in there somewhere, and there's some other. Anyway, 7 a.m. Where's your brother? Actually, it's 9 a.m. 7 a.m. east of or west of California. Good morning to you and happy Monday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Stephanie produces radio. Aaron on the TV side. Novak Djokovic is up 4-0 in the sixth. He may win 6-1, 6-love, 4 or 6-love in the last 3 after losing the first 2, which would be something I don't know that I've ever seen before, to be honest with you. But he's trying to survive at the French Open, which is going. How about the French Open with all the withdrawals, and Federer pulled out the other day, and of course the drama with Naomi Osaka. Coco Gauff is advanced. I know you'd rather watch, which is fine. Everybody watch what you watch, something else. But I mean, if you're paying attention to it, there's a lot. They've been having a lot of issues just trying to keep people of interest in the tournament as they go through it. And Federer, it looks like he's going to advance. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. All right, so let's get into this, JJ, a little bit. The injuries they impact the playoffs. We watched in round 1, Anthony Davis going out for the Lakers, right? That obviously impacted the playoffs, correct? James Harden's hamstring, I don't. Maybe you do. It doesn't have as big an impact as Anthony Davis. He's just as impactful of a player, but his team is more full than the Lakers, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Steve Nash is the first-year head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and they've been dealing with this for a while. And so, how do they now deal with an injury to one of their big 3?
It's happened to us all year, right, where something's happened. Some sort of adversity, someone goes down and the next man's up. And Mike, who would have thought before the game that he's going to play 30 minutes and, scored the ball, rebounded, made a few plays and hustled, and just great to see guys who haven't been in the rotation get an opportunity to step up and play well.
So next man up is what I heard there. Is that what you heard?
That is. And for Brooklyn, the thing they're used to is not having all three of those guys in a lineup. So it's not a shock to the system. And they are able to adapt to that because it was 8 games those three actually played together in the regular
More of a shock
season.
to the system to have them all healthy.
Like, oh, wait, all these guys are playing? This is interesting. So, yes, it's not as big of a loss because you still have 2 stars. So it's a simple equation.
2 stars, and then the rest of the roster that's contributing.
Yeah, and that's exactly the way these teams are built. When you look at kind of the 2-star model, which is really taken over. Outside of Brooklyn, as we're still kind of wondering, how did you do that?
Yeah.
It's all right, you have your consistent guys that are going to get you to a certain level, and then you roll the dice and say which rotation player is going to have their night.
Well, look at how the Lakers won last year, right? They were healthy, and they had their 2 stars healthy, and then everybody else contributed, right? You had your Rondos and your Kuzmas and your Carusos and Dwight Howard last year. Everybody contributed. This year, why didn't the Lakers win? Well, A, their 2 stars were not healthy, and B, you got very little consistent contribution from the rest of your roster. I mean, outside of those 2, and because they were, one of them seemed like they were always hurt, who was the best Laker this year? Most consistent best Laker? I don't have an answer for you, to be honest with you.
The best, LeBron or AD. Most consistent.
Or Caldwell Pope.
Would be maybe the guy who ended up playing the most games.
Yeah, but outside of those 2, who on the rest of the roster contributed? Why did
the Lakers season in the playoffs? It was about Anthony Davis. It was not about Kyle.
That's right. That's right.
ACP.
No, but I'm talking about all season long, because my point is, the Nets are getting contribution from the rest of their roster. The Clippers got contribution from the rest of the roster. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were really good yesterday. But Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson were also really good, and that's why they got through Game 7. Where Luka Doncic was really good for his team, but nobody else was. That's why that team advanced and that team didn't. Brooklyn Nets are getting production from go up and down their roster, right? Blake Griffin, Joe Harris, up and down the roster, right?
They did in Game 1.
That's how teams win championships. They got adversity was a word that Steve Nash used in the clip that you just heard. Kevin Durant is talking about what you just said. Look, they play all 3 of those guys played together just 8 times this year, so this team's used to it.
We try not to be too emotional out there, but losing, one of your leaders like that, this first play of the game, it definitely we had to regroup for a couple of minutes and figure out what was next. But I think the coaching staff did a great job of moving forward, and guys came in and just tried to play extremely hard. We didn't care about anything else but playing and executing the game plan and just, leaving it all out there.
And they did. And they did. So the Nets are up 1-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks, and JJ believes that that's the team that's got the most to lose tonight is Milwaukee. That's the early game tonight, 5:30 on TNT, and you'll go early. Then you get the first game of the Western Conference second round between Denver and Phoenix. So if you're Mike Budenholzer and you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you've got to be looking at your Chris Middletons and your Drew Holidays today and say, look, man, this is your day. You've got to go. You've got to show up today. It can't be all on that big Greek freak in the middle.
This is definitely Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton territory. You get your game you expect out of Giannis. And then defensively, what can Milwaukee do? They have to shut down everyone else. You can beat Brooklyn. If KD and Kyrie have good games, you can still beat them. You can't let Mike James and Blake Griffin score 30 points. Like 18 points from Blake Griffin, it was unbelievable. They got the game. Now you got to go out there and take Game 2 and show that you do have the depth around Giannis.
What's acceptable out of Blake Griffin? Like if you're Milwaukee, 8 points, 8 and 8.
Well, you look at Blake Griffin in the postseason, and he's a roller coaster because that's who he is at this point in time. I think if you keep him under 10 points, it's good because the dude's averaging 7 points so far in the playoffs. Like he wasn't a factor in the Celtics.
But I think he's been nice defensively. I think what he's done is exactly what he was brought in to do. Mm-hmm. I can't, it feels like this is the perfect role for him in the perfect spot at this point in his career. Doesn't it?
It is.
Doesn't have to be the guy. He was traded to Detroit and disappeared, right? It didn't work in Clipperland, and he was supposed to be one of the greatest players. He jumps over Kias, and he's unbelievable. This is, to me, the perfect spot at this point. He can't be that old, can he? Was he mid-30s? Young 30s? 32? 33? It's a perfect spot. You've got 3 superstars. Go in and play your role. Bang. Get a highlight jam now and then. Get a block shot. What do you got him at?
He's 32.
Yeah. He's got a little bounce left. He contributes. The way that roster is constructed, to your point, I think we all sit around and just go, how the heck did they do it? They got a shooter. They got a grinder. They got 3 stars. And then they just got pieces. Steve Nash, I don't know if he's a good coach or not. I mean, we all say, gosh, anybody could coach that team. Nobody's a good coach without good players.
Yeah.
Not anybody could coach it, but it feels like he's kind of found his way through this.
And listening to even KD in that clip, it sounds like they respect Steve Nash.
I think so, too.
That's the big thing, especially with Kyrie, because he is a head case. He is. But the dude can ball. And it feels like there is a understanding between the superstar players and Steve Nash, because KD looked at Steve Nash and said, all right, what are we doing? And Steve said, well, Mike James, I'm calling your number. He rode the hot hand, and it worked out. And that's what you have to do, because we're going to get caught up this summer about stars and finding that number 2 and who's going to play with Luka and who's going to play with Dame. But you still got to be able to put together a full roster, and there's still guys out there that can play. Mike James is one of those dudes that spent years overseas playing a good player, just waiting for his chance. And maybe this is the only game we're ever talk about Mike James. Maybe. But he had his moment, and he helped them win a playoff game.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from the Clippers after their win. Also, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to give you a number that makes you think a little bit. You get one player right now in the NBA. You can start your team, and you get him for the next 6 years. Who you starting your team with if you get one guy to go and you know you got him for the next 6 years, probably through his prime? It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Stephanie, and Aaron on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right. Put a smile on your face. They're at home. Things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a... Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's other way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball.
NBA, 6 years. You're going to have one guy right now for the next 6 years. You're going Luka, you're going KD, Anthony Davis, Lillard. Who are you going? Where are you going? It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Where are you starting?
Luka Doncic.
That's your guy for the next 6 years, huh? I might go Giannis. 6 years. Because I want to make it somewhere where you got to take, I don't know if that takes KD out. It might still be KD, but it can't be LeBron. Right?
Nope.
Maybe, 6, 7 years. Where are you going? So, all right, Luka?
Luka's number 1, jumping into that conversation, and is very close. It's Kawhi Leonard, who turns 30 at the end of this month.
Yeah. I want to get into the Kawhi conversation because it's different than maybe it was a week and a half ago. Brian, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Living good. How about you, man?
Everything's good. Thank you.
Good. How about you, JJ? You good too, brother?
Good, thank you.
Right on, man. Right on. Hey, I'm going to go with my boy on my favorite team, the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to go with Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, that's a good one. How old's he?
Take the Joker, man, because he's going to be the MVP this year, hopefully. And why not start a 6 year? Essentially, if you get a guy that long and you're paying him that much, you're married to him. So you might as well start a 6-year marriage with a good guy right there.
I don't have a problem with that. No, I think that's a good one, and you can make a really good argument that he can do, and not everything, but he could sure do a lot. All right, Brian. Thanks, man.
All right, man.
Be well. Jokic is, look, it's a great place to start. I listen to Jokic. I listen to Giannis. I listen to Luka. Lillard's 30. Damian Lillard might not be a bad place to start. Steph's 32, 33. You think he's on the back end. All right. Where else you going? I mean, who else did you consider? Or did you not consider anybody else?
So this is the list I wrote down during the break, just off the top of my head of next 6 years right now. Kawhi Leonard,
Zion,
Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Giannis, Jason Tatum, Zion, Joker, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell.
Okay. Booker would be up a little higher on my list. I think Zion would be. I think. I'm going Giannis. Luka was the guy that I was struggling with, so I'd probably go Luka. Antetokounmpo, Luka. I might go Devin Booker third. I think he's going to be terrific. I really think he's going to be terrific. I mean, Jokic is, you can't go wrong with Jokic. Trae Young is good. If I was going to build my team around him, I just don't know that he does enough. He's a great shooter. I just don't know that's where I mean, Joel Embiid should be on that list, no?
I'd have him on the list if Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis deserve to be on the list, but I don't have them there because of health.
All right. Tatum is the one that probably should be higher, and he probably should have been higher in the draft. Who was the 2-3? It was the 1-3 swap. It was the Markelle Fultz thing. That's gosh. Could you imagine if Philly would have opted with the one pick to go to Jason Tatum instead? Put him on that roster. Him, Simmons, and Embiid.
You wouldn't have any conversation about Ben Simmons shooting. It's just say pass it to Embiid or Tatum.
All right. That's right. And go do what you do.
Play defense and pass.
Yeah. And Kawhi's how old? 30?
He'll be 30 at the end of this month, on 29th.
Where's Kawhi's place now? It's different than you thought 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely.
Let me give you this. If Kawhi wins with the Clippers, okay, that's a long way to go. They got to get through Utah. They got to get through whoever's next in the West. They got to get through. They got 3 series. They just won 1 series, and they won in 7 games. So we've gone from having a conversation, what's wrong with Kawhi, and is he really a leader, to, wow. If he wins, takes this team, if he puts this team on his back and wins, takes a franchise that, and first of all, I don't think the Clippers win the championship, okay? Let me preface that. But if he takes this franchise who has never won anything, never been to a conference championship, and wins, does this elevate him into a different echelon as a legacy player?
Yes.
Now, LeBron's won with 3 franchises. LeBron won with Miami, and Cleveland had never won before, and then he won with the Lakers. So I guess you can have a conversation and say, what's the difference? But it puts him on that shelf, does it not?
Yes, it does. Okay. I think resume-wise, it's still going to be LeBron, but Kawhi Leonard is that dude then that is starting to check all the boxes, and we're like, I'm not like, I said I started the show this morning. I'm having my crow for Kawhi and the Clippers.
That's fine.
I never thought Kawhi was a bad player, but I really think when you watch Kawhi, is he bringing people together? I think that was an absolute fair question, because
it seems to be yes.
San Antonio was established.
Yeah.
Yes, he went and he was the best player in Toronto, but that team was good, had a leader, had a foundation. Mm-hmm. And now here, this was him. There was no foundation. It was Kawhi. You picked who you wanted to be your running mate, and then you're setting the tone.
No doubt.
And what we saw, the 5 straight postseason losses, the terrible performance in Game 7 last year, I was wondering, like, all right, Kawhi is awesome, but can he rally a franchise? And he led with his play. That team came together, and we're absolutely having a different conversation with Kawhi Leonard right now.
I think all that's right. If you were to place a bet now, Kawhi's 29, LeBron's 36, Kawhi's won 2, LeBron's won 4. When it's all said and done, who will have more championships? It's good, huh?
Yes.
Especially if Kawhi gets one this year. But now you could I think I would go LeBron just because Kawhi, if he stays with the Clippers, they're not going to win. They're not winning multiple. This is what the Clippers ever done. Until the Clippers,
just because they're the Clippers.
Yes. Until the Clippers break that ceiling, yes, because they're the Clippers. I know that sounds like voodoo witchcraft crap, and it probably is. But show me something that proves it wrong. Yes, because they're the Clippers. Yes.
Who has the best shot, Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant, to win more than 4 championships?
Durant. Just because of where he is. Now, what have the Nets ever won? All right, they won nothing. I think they won an ABA championship when Dr. J was there, I think. What have the Nets ever won? Nothing, right? They got to the finals once. That's better than the Clippers ever have. In their 50-year history, that's better than the Clippers ever have.
I think this is a big postseason run for both Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard.
Both have won 2?
Because there's no question about their performance, and they've been finals MVPs.
Yep.
But now this first time, it's like, this is their team. Like, Kevin Durant, that wasn't your team in Golden State, bro. Like,
no, that's right.
You were really good.
You were the MVP.
But that wasn't your team. Now, even with Kyrie, Kyrie's still second fiddle. Like, you're setting the tone. So KD and Kawhi are 2 guys that are now able to kind of establish that next chapter in their legacies where they're at.
I think that's 100% right. Let's prognosticate, and I think this may happen. Now, I think Utah's really nice. I think this is. They get through this series. I think the Clippers get through. Yeah, it's crazy, but they break through a ceiling that they've never broken through before. If the Clippers get through Utah, which I think is going to be tougher than either Denver or Phoenix, if the Clippers get through this, I think they get to the finals. So if it's Clippers and Nets, are we talking about a failure? Like, I know that's the narrative, and I know that's what these shows do. And somebody's got to be a failure. If Kawhi loses to KD or KD loses to Kawhi, it's really not a failure, is it? I mean,
No, especially in the fact this is KD's first full season back from his Achilles.
Yeah.
He had a little bit extra time, what happened last year and when the season started. So I wouldn't look at either of a failure, because you're talking about these 2 teams getting to the point where we expect them to be in the finals. But I couldn't say one would be a failure.
Is that kind of what we want to see? I know the networks do. They want even though they're getting the second tier teams in both markets, they want New York, LA, don't they?
Yeah, you're getting the markets and you're getting the players.
Yeah. I mean, that's really more than anything else, right? You're getting the players. There's no bigger stars.
Watching the Atlanta-Philadelphia game, and what did it say in the bottom corner? It said Luka versus Kawhi next. Okay. And then what would it be? Yeah. Kawhi versus KD next.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
All right, so you're going Luka. I asked you the question going in. You got one guy. Start your team. You get him for the next 6-7 years. Who do you want? JJ wants Luka. I think I'm going Giannis. Although Zion's on the table. Kawhi Leonard's on the table. Devin Booker's. I'm just going to tell you, Devin Booker's probably my 3rd pick.
And Devin Booker's the guy that you don't realize he's only 24. He's been around. You're like, oh, he's pretty good. But you think he's probably like, well, he's like 28, 29, 24.
Yeah.
He's right.
He's young. He's getting better. And Jokic. I mean, Luka, Jokic, Kawhi, Giannis, Zion. Who else you got on your list? Kawhi Leonard. I guess
Tatum, Trae Young.
You forget Jason Tatum.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. There's some good young players in this league. Really good young players. 505-246-0610 is how to get in. 888-922-0610. We'll hear from the Clippers next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years.
Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
All right, so who you taking? By the way, Novak Djokovic rallied this morning in the French quarterfinals, French Open. He was down 2-0, or 2-love, as they say in the game. He was up against 19-year-old Lorenzo Musetti of Italy. Musetti won the first two 7-6, 7-6. And then in the last three sets, Djokovic lost one game, JJ. He won 6-1, 6-love. And how could it be 4-love? And then Musetti retired because of injury. So 6-7, 6-7, 6-1, 6-love, 4-love. And then Musetti retired. He was down 4-love in the last set and retired because of injury. So at least they've got one big name advancing in the French. He's really, really good too. Gosh, just terrific. We're in an age of, if you're a tennis guy, we're in an age of legends. There was a minute back in like the 70s and 80s where you went through tennis players. You had McEnroe and you had Connors and you had Borg and then you had Lendl and then you had Sampras and then you just had great players, great players on both the men's and the women's side, Navratilova and Chris Everett. And then there was a lull because there weren't great Americans for a while. But watching Federer and Djokovic and Nadal, and then what the Williams sisters and more so Serena has been able to do, you're in a legendary era right now. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning.
Good morning,
Terry.
gentlemen. I hope you both had a great weekend. Got to start it off first with the conspiracy theory. Are you sure it was Marcus Morris and not Marquise Morris out there shooting?
Certain.
We'll never know for sure, but, lighting it up never was their forte, either one, but, when the time comes around. But I want to get to the golf because now which test, Jeff, did he test positive? Was it Friday's or Saturday morning's test?
So
came back
it was
positive?
actually Sunday morning's test that was between Saturday morning's test that was between rounds. So you're tested between rounds. Well, his second round, because of the rain delay, didn't end until Saturday morning. So he finished up, took the test. Evidently, they got the positive test somewhere around when he was on 14. They ordered a retest of it to confirm the positive, and the result came as he was finishing up 18.
Okay, because I just still think it's a bad look. If they had not let him play in the tournament because he had close contact, that's one thing. But it seems like now it's kind of, we kind of still care about COVID. We kind of don't. Let the crowd wander around whether they've been tested or not. Don't have to wear masks. I just think with the $1 million or $4 million, $5 million in the purse, that they could have spent a few bucks to get the testing back quicker.
And then
because
what?
I think after even Saturday morning, if it had been, he finished his second round and we're now announcing, that he's positive and he's out. But it just after the third round and being so far ahead, it's tough. And now I'm wondering how it's going to affect everything else. Basketball, they were saying you're close contact, you're having to sit out for a week. And with the Olympics coming up, I'm just kind of going, oh, geez, how will it affect, whichever one? I'm not an English major.
I'm not either. That's the one that gets me, too. And
so, because you have people wandering the course, and yes, outside's not supposed to be as, bad as being inside, but as JJ mentioned earlier, they're standing right around them when they hit their shots, whether it be out of the rough or out of the, around the green, so you're around people. So I just thought, and I agreed with you, Jeff, where, wait until it goes behind the camera. But I wonder if CBS said, no, we want this moment.
If they did, shame on them. Honestly, if that's what it was, and that didn't even cross my mind. If they did, shame on them. Now, I don't know if somehow they thought they were going to avoid contact with autograph seekers and that's the only explanation I could listen to is, he was going to shake hands and sign autographs and kiss babies on the way to the tent. And so this would have avoided contact with some people. I mean, okay, I'll listen to that. But other than that, what are we doing?
Right, because, they aren't, without the mask. And obviously last year when I was sending my emails, I took the COVID very seriously. My daughter had to wear a beekeeper outfit for months when she was working at Hopkins. But now it seems like it's kind of, pseudo. Fans can come, whether they're tested or not. You don't need to wear a mask. But like I said, if they had told him at the beginning of the week, I'm sorry, you don't get to play because of the close contact, that'd been one thing. But the way it all went down, it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Understood.
Sad. So that's all I had today. So enjoy the show as always, guys.
All right.
Take care.
See you.
Bye-bye.
That's the only, the explanation I can listen to at that point is that one. David, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hi, David.
Hello. I think the rules are the rules, and they follow the rules. I mean, the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball player who last year's World Series win was
Justin
testing
Turner.
positive and was allowed to mingle. I mean, LeBron James and the guy was going to the strip club. I mean, they're all saying, okay, rules don't apply to me. I mean, the guy was testing positive. Ultimately, the argument is if he was just a contact trace, that's fine, but he was actually testing positive. And the rules are the rules. I don't care what it looks like. The bottom line to it is he shouldn't have been there as soon as the testing positive.
Agreed.
Nor should those other players have been in their realm, including the Dodgers player celebrating the win.
You're right.
mean,
you and I don't agree on a lot, but
the rules are the rules.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. If they're going to have the protocol in place, the rules are the rules. You and I agree. You can't, JJ, you can't change them just because the guy's leading the tournament. Now, you can change them today for next week, but you can't change them on Sunday morning.
And to that point, my main reason for calling is the tennis player who's out because of willingness to withdraw. All the star players from Federer to Williams, I mean, they pulled out. And my basic question is, had that female tennis player of controversy stayed in,
Naomi Osaka,
what would her performance have rated her at? Meaning, if you project forward, where would she have been? Meaning, all the people who were withdrawn, Williams, Federer, and they did the press conferences, so they were within the rules. My basic question is, the female tennis player of controversy, where would she have been by performance? And ultimately, does her withdrawing justify her ultimately not wanting to talk because it's a bad performance? Where would her performance have left her given the play?
I'm not sure I know the answer to that. You got something? I mean, where would she could have been? She could have lost the next match. I don't know. I don't know where it would have rated. I have no way of knowing that.
Yeah, my basic question is, would she be in the money to some extent? How deep do tennis player tournaments like the French Open? How deep do they pay?
They pay the whole way through. Round by round.
Her withdrawal. My point is, her withdrawing basically gave up money, and her claim to say, "Look, I'm giving up money, so my claim to mental anguish is serious because I'm giving up money." When all she had to do was pay the fine and then bear the consequence of bad play.
Imagine so. And David, thanks. I imagine she could have just.
You got to get over the Osaka stuff, David.
No, he's hung up on that, and I understand.
Like, it's not just like bad play. Like, she's the number 2 ranked player in the world, so she's pretty good, and she's won. And she's not just running from answering bad questions. She's got some stuff she's trying to figure out.
And I also, I don't know that she claimed, look at all this money I'm giving up. Other people were saying, well, she's giving up a lot of money. It would have been $15,000 a day. Could she have paid that fine? Yes, she could have. Right? He's saying, could she have just paid the $15,000
But I think there was a lot more than just that, because she was, at that moment, they were going to fine her. But then the other tournaments also immediately came out and said, well, you're not even going to get to play if you don't talk to him. So she had to figure all that stuff out.
Rudy, good morning. How's Monday? Hello, Rudy. All right. Well, then I'll take the break. You got him up? All right. I got to... Well, I'm not going to play that. All right, Rudy, call us back. We'll get you in after the break. Yeah, on the Osaka stuff, I get it. You don't believe she's got mental anguish. She thinks she's just trying to avoid the media, which at this point, why would she be doing that? Nobody's going to let her play anymore. Did you hear, who was it? I think Edwards sent me something. The NFL should go one season without requiring their players to talk to the media. It would be great. 90% would, but it'd be great. I like obviously doing what I do for a living. I think that's horrible. But did you see that?
I did.
What do you think of that?
I'm not a fan of that.
I think it's horrible.
And this is more. If you like, David's locked into this. Like, he just wants to keep going after Osaki each and every day. Like, we could be talking about anything else, and it's going to come back to that decision. It can be uncomfortable at times, but it's what you do. You answer for it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously, there's something a little bit more with Naomi Osaka, which most of us understand at this point in time, but I don't think just taking away access is really good for anyone, because most people understand it, and you still do get good information out of these settings. You still are able to gain insights that you don't get usually.
I think just having controlled access, meaning all you get, well, you're still going to get it from their Twitter accounts. Maybe you will, maybe you won't.
No, you won't.
But you won't get anything. You just get what they want to tell.
I'm fine. Like, you don't have to just immediately throw everyone in the locker room.
I'm fine with that too.
And just say, all right, guys, here's a couple players available. They're going to meet you right here.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Rudy, come on back in if you want. You can get in on Naomi Osaka and on the French as well. And all the things that we've thrown on the table for you, from Julio Jones to the hoops to the John Rahm conversation. On the opening drive on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Now, it's time to load the boom on the PGA Tour, and I hate to do this because I do respect everything that they've done over the last year. But could the tour officials have been any more awkward or insensitive than they were Saturday evening when they informed John Rahm in public and on camera that he had tested positive for COVID-19 moments after he had taken a commanding 6-shot, 54-hole lead? The 26-year-old Spaniard was forced to withdraw. I don't understand why the officials couldn't have simply asked the asymptomatically infected world number 3 to don a mask and follow them out of camera range. Instead, no one knew what was going on as we witnessed Rahm gasp and bend over in anguish. The withdrawal suddenly left Colin Morikawa and Patrick Cantlay to battle for the lead, which they did, into a one-hole playoff. Cantlay emerged with his second Memorial victory in 3 years. I'm Boomer Esiason.
We refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead.
Joe Cordell. Hopefully you and I
Watch us
agree
overcome
that you should do everything you can to save
Watch
your
us
marriage.
rise.
Divorce is hard,
Watch us change our
expensive,
world.
and its outcome is usually not
Watch us
all
become
you
the
hope
next
for.
greatest generation.
However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, Consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment.
All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a. Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Thoughts? John Rahm wish he had swing thoughts instead of. So is he back for the U.S. Open? That's what comes into play because the U.S. Open's in Torrey Pines in 2 weeks. Maybe
he's out of isolation 2 days before it tees off.
Assuming that he's well. Assuming that he tests negative. Assuming that the COVID runs through and he's out. Yeah. 2460610. Let's try this again. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. I got really mixed thoughts about that John Rahm situation because I was watching the tournament when everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get rules, but how many people was John around, and couldn't they have isolated him? I mean, he's already exposed his 2 playing partners, right?
Well, he just shook their hands as soon as he finished, and right before they pulled him off the golf course, he just shook hands with them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So they've been exposed, right? Did they have to drop out?
No, because they did not test positive. Now, they may in 2 days, they may in 4 days, right? And they may not be able. Was it Xander Schauffele and Scotty Scheffler, right? They may not be able to play in the U.S. Open.
But they got to finish the tournament because when they test positive, the tournament will be over.
So here's the same thing. This is the reason that he was under the watch, because he was contact traced. He was with someone or near someone who tested positive, and that's why they were testing him so closely. And then 2-3 days later, he tested positive, and so
if he's being affected by the coronavirus, it sure didn't show up in his play.
No, he's pretty damn good, wasn't he?
He was killing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't. I don't know if the PGA was trying to create drama because it sure seems like they did. But you wait to tell him that until after you get him away from the cameras.
Please.
You don't tell him as soon as he walks off the course and shakes hands. Oh, hey, by the way, buddy, you tested positive for COVID and you're out of the tournament.
Yep, I agree. Why put that on my TV? Like, as much as we all saw the moment and it's going to be indelible, why do that to that man?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It caught him totally off guard. It literally took him to his knee.
Yes.
So that you're so focused. You just finished one of the greatest rounds of your life. You just tied the tour record for 29 on the back nine.
Yeah.
I mean, he was lighting it up.
How would you feel, right? You just came off, you did that. Oh, and by the way, you've got the COVID.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know going forward whether at that point you say, yeah, you can play because now you have it. You got to wear a mask.
You can't.
You got to stay 6 feet away from people, and so does your caddy. And that's easily doable in the game of golf.
You can't.
I mean, you don't have to get near anybody.
Yeah, Rudy, you've got the protocol. You've got the rules. If you want to tell me today that they came out and changed the policy going forward, that's fine. But that's like changing the pass interference rule at halftime or at the end of the third quarter. You just can't. You can't change the rules midway through the competition.
But think about this. How much did that cost him?
Well, it probably cost him $1.8 million. It cost everybody who bet on him a lot of money. It cost a lot. Now they had a better tournament. They probably had better TV ratings, but that's not the point. Yeah, it cost him a lot of money, but you can't change the rules. This is, as much as I may agree with what you're saying in regards to the exposure and should he have played and could he have played and whatever. If you got protocols in place, you can't change the rules midstream.
That's why they got to rethink the protocols.
Well,
because I think that was unfair to Rahm. But at the end of the day, that's what this whole pandemic has been about. Yeah. Trying to be fair to everybody, and sometimes that means you're unfair to one person. So
how would you have kept this? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
He's not my favorite golfer, but I like him.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question, because I'm not sure I totally disagree with you, but I don't totally agree with you either. So he sprays a drive on number whatever into the gallery on the right side, outside the ropes. And, all those hundreds of people gather around his golf ball. And he's playing, we know he's positive. Oh, he's wearing a mask. And how do you keep him away from them? Do you have to clear everybody away? So what do you do in that situation?
Yeah. And normally they do, you know. I mean, that's just a crowd control issue. But everybody wants to be, you know, when the ball's out of bounds, everybody wants to run up to it and stand right by him and see if they can get in his ear or whatever, because that's the way some golf fans are. I mean, I just think at that point, you know, there's a different protocol, and you have 4 guys or whatever it is, 4 people with a rope, and you rope that off, and everybody's 12 feet away, and that's the way it is. And you cross that rope, you're out of there. And most people can deal with that situation.
Is he playing? Is he playing masked? Is he playing with a mask on Sunday under that scenario?
Well, supposedly the science says that if you have it, you can give it to somebody, so you should wear a mask. But if you don't, the CDC says if you don't have it, you can't infect anybody, and therefore you don't have to wear a mask.
So he would have had it. In this case, he would have had it, so he would be wearing a mask.
He would be wearing a mask. Now, you know, that brings its own set, but at least everybody knows, yeah, this guy tested positive, and he's, you know, we're going to let him play, and here's the protocol. Stay away from him. I don't even know. The whole thing's so goofy and messed up. It's just, we are definitely in the twilight zone.
Yeah, we've been there for a while. All right, man. Good to hear you.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in the twilight zone for a while now, right? I mean, it's a year and a half. It's freaking almost mid-June. Today's my dad's birthday. He'd have been 84 today. You know that? It's just I just saw the date, and that's why it just popped in my mind. We're borderline mid-June. This is a year and a half we've been doing this stuff. Yeah, we're in the twilight zone. I just, JG, as much as however I feel or don't feel on the pandemic and on the virus, if that's your protocol, you've got to stick to it. You can't change the rules midway through a competition.
I'm with you, and I think it's one where it could be unfortunate then for his playing partners if they end up testing positive.
That's my
and then
fear.
It takes them out of the next major. But also, that's still life in a pandemic where COVID-19 is going around.
Yeah, that's my fear 3-4 days down the line. Xander Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler, 2 guys who you would say would probably be in contention at the U.S. Open.
At that point,
and for Xander,
it's unfortunate just because when you got the test back, thought it was good to go. Hope he's not. And I understand how on a Sunday you can't, even with a 6-shot lead, run John Rahm back out there and be like, oh, it's a positive for COVID-19, and he's. How
much would it suck? And look, it would suck for anybody, and it would suck for John Rahm if he can't play. Xander's a San Diego kid who played at San Diego State and the U.S. Open's at Torrey Pines. Do you think he's a little bit been looking forward to this one? A little bit? Is this the one Xander would finally win? Going home? But and that may be what we're staring at. Steph, great work. Thanks for coming into work this morning. We appreciate you showing up.
Thank you. Bobcat was feeling under the weather.
Well, load management. That's what load management does. Hey, Ron, I think you're the only guy left at ProView. Everybody else up in Farmington today? Thanks for coming into work, putting our show on the air today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd's after that. Sports Bar this afternoon at 4. And then we're Isopes Baseball at 6:15. You want to come back tomorrow morning and do this all over again?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
We'll be back at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio for you, Steph. I don't know if you'll be here. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. Lord knows. But we will, and hope you'll join us then. Be good to each other, please. Have a wonderful Monday. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Do you have an idea for an invention?
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck.